All right. I believe we are live. Let me just double check and we'll get it popping. So, I think we should be live right now. Let's see. I'm sorry. If anybody's watching, hello. How are you guys? Uh, I was very happy to have gotten that interview with Mr. Michael Fox over the weekend. Shout out to Michael Fox. You are a very nice individual, and I hope you succeed in whatever you do. But if this stream is currently active, what is up, guys? It is Kieran Rodriguez here, aka Krod7435. You already know. Um, I wanted to talk about Shakur Stevenson versus Jamel Herring, fight recap, and probably Tank versus Rollie thoughts. And probably last topic will be Jaron Ennis versus Thomas Delorme of what I think about this fight card. Oh, and let's talk about Jose Vargas and Jose Zapata. Yeah, Jose Zapata, right? So, yeah, we definitely got some, good topics to cover for tonight. The very first topic that I'll cover is Shakur Stevenson versus Jamel Herring. Fight card recap. I personally thought it was a tremendous card. Top Rank did a decent job with opening up the card very well. I personally believe that card should have been a little bit more bigger. I actually wish like they added like female fights to the card. Cause like me personally, like for cards like that, especially in a good scenery, especially in Atlanta at the State Farm Arena, right? I don't know where the hell that arena was, but I want to say it was a State Farm one, but still, I mean, for venues like that, that should definitely be a bigger stage for more female fighters to be on the card. And I mean, Top Rank, they like really don't do a good job of that, and I do blame the PBC for doing that. Uh, for having that flaw as well. Um, Knowing that the zone, they are they're like the actual, big players actually promoting women's boxing at a good level. But I personally believe whenever you have a big card like that, you should always get uh, a couple of female fights in there, which I would say at least 2 to 3 female fights, because that actually really does blossom a fight card like that to be a lot more to be a lot more attractive and a lot more open to the fan audience. But either way, I had fun watching the card. There was multiple other fights that were going on as well. I wanted to give a huge shout out to 2 good boxers, or actually no, 3 of them. They're all three, or all 3 of them are female fighters. I wanted to give a shout out to Jiffy Morales. She just won her first professional debut bout over in Colombia. I believe she knocked out her opponent. That was a pretty good fight, from what I heard, but I hope her opponent is doing well and she's recovering well. But that fight alone was a very good competitive leveled fight. Um, I definitely want to see more out of her. I hope she does very well. I wish her nothing but the best. And I hope her opponent does good and whatever she chooses to do for for her career choices in boxing. But that's the first girl. The other lady I wanted to give a huge shout out to, which I should be having her on this upcoming weekend. That girl is Miss Rosalinda Rodriguez. She's a good fighter. I believe she fights at bantamweight, right? I'm not so sure about Jiffy. I want to say that she fights at flyweight or super flyweight, but for Rosalinda, she fights at bantamweight. She got like a second round TKO or knockout victory over some other lady. I think her name was Elizabeth Tuwani, right? But I think if anything, that's probably going to open up the doors to bigger and better things, to hopefully like world title contention, which I can definitely see that happening because she is a damn good fighter. But much love and respect to the Puerto Rican queen, Miss Rosalinda Rodriguez. Hopefully we could get it going this Saturday, and I look forward to talking with her. The third lady, she is awesome. I love watching her fight. That's Miss Diana Estrada. She got I don't know what she got. I want to say she got a decision. Um, I want to say it was like a 4-rounder, right? If I'm not mistaken. But she definitely won. I know that. Yeah. Yeah. I want to say it had to been a decision. Either that or probably knockout, because she definitely got pop, and I love watching her fight. So shout out to Diana Estrada. She's a West Coast girl from Oregon. She's 22 years old. She fights at lightweight. I think at her first fight she fought at a catchweight at 132, but I guess it was at lightweight. So that was a third round TKO victory over a 0-10 lady. But obviously that was your first fight, so I don't hold no bards against that. But either way, she's a amazing fighter. Go check her out. She's definitely up and coming, and I think she's definitely on her way to bigger and better things. And I like to see her do more in the future. So much love much love and respect to Diana Estrada. Can't wait to see her fight more. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get on with the boxing fight cards. I'm going to talk about Mr. Shakur Stevenson and Jamel Herring. And then I would say we'll probably talk about Mr. Hold on. We're going to talk about Shakur versus Herring recap. I'm just going to put it in front of like my screen for banner reminders. Fight recap, and then we will have this one. This one will be Rollie versus Tank recap or fight prediction. Yeah, fight prediction recap, and then we'll probably talk about Boots, Joran Ennis fighting this weekend, and then the last one will be Joseph Vargas versus Jose Zepeda. Final fight prediction. Yeah, so that's what's going to happen with this. I'm going to make this a little bit easier. Hold on. So yeah, I'm going to hopefully try to just get one more. Hold on, give me 1 second. I apologize. Build up, recap. Sorry. Recap. Wait, what? That don't make any sense. Rollie versus Tank. Alright. So, yeah, we are going to do the first topic. We're going to do Shakur versus Jamel Herring fight recap. And then the second topic will be the recap on Rollie versus Tank fight build-up. And then the third one will be Joran Ennis, third one will be Jose Vargas versus Jose Zepeda final fight prediction. And then the fourth one will be Joran Ennis fighting this weekend. Like my thoughts. Yeah. So, yeah, let's get right to it. I'm sorry to waste more time. I just wanted to get that cleared up. But yeah, so for the first topic, we're going to be talking about Shakur versus Jamel Herring fight recap. What are my thoughts? And yeah, we'll just get right to it. To me, I personally believe this fight was a amazing fight. I didn't really care who was going to win as far as like the fight itself, but I was pulling for Jamel Herring simply because he had more veteran level IQ over Shakur. But I was thinking Shakur was going to pull it off because he had more of that, athletic drive to give Jamel problems. And it was a pretty good fight while it lasted. And I had a good time, watching that fight and actually seeing it, uh, on TV. I thought that the fight itself could have gone, the distance, but Shakur, um, he definitely did his thing. He definitely gave Jamel a lot of problems to figure out, and it was definitely worth a fight of my money that I wanted to see. Which I know it was on free TV, but I'm just saying, like, worth my time and effort of what I put my hard-earned money to go watch TV, to go see Shakur on television. That is definitely worth my wealth of time to see a guy like Shakur fight. But how I saw this fight going down, I really thought it was just going to go to a decision because I wasn't expecting Shakur to stop Jamel Herring. It was a good 11th round stop or 10th round stoppage. Um, but either way, I think if anything, I thought Jamel Herring could have gone, the whole distance. Um, I personally thought that Shakur did what he had to do, but I thought the fight itself could have been a more competitive fight, and Jamel Herring did what he thought he could have done. Um, as far as that the fight had gone, as long as it could. I just thought, as far as like the fight itself, it was a good fight while it lasted, and it was a good fight. So I thought, if anything, it was a very competitive fight. I enjoyed watching it. And I think where Shakur goes from here is that he should either move up to 135 if he can't get the fights at 130, or probably, if anything, if he just can't get the Oscar Valdez fight, because that's really what we all want to see. I personally believe Oscar Valdez, he's not wanting to fight Shakur Stevenson at all costs. But if anything, it's just going to turn into one of those promoter politics issues where Shakur Stevenson can't get any good fights in because everyone keeps avoiding him. And I kind of feel like he's going to go that route with Terrence Crawford, where he thinks that Bob Arum in Top Rank has has his best interests, but at the end of the day, we have seen that before, and that hasn't gone anybody's way except for just making everyone's lives worse, as far as just not getting the fights that top ranked fighters have been asking for. And look at where things have gone to. I personally think where things are going to go to for Shakur's career is simply just that Shakur, he's going to be asking for a lot of demands from Bob Arum. And I think Bob Arum, he's just going to kick him to the curb when either Shakur loses or he just looks really bad, to the point where Bob Arum, he's just going to feed him to somebody that could beat him or make him look bad, where, he probably could be robbed or he could be cheated of some sort. But I really don't know, honestly, because it's just like, Shakur Stevenson, he's at, like, he's obviously in the prime of his career. but he's beginning to become that good high level fighter. And I like to see him good in what he wants to do. But I think at this point, Shakur Stevenson, he just needs to become a prize fighter. He just needs to go, where the money's at. I just don't see where Shakur Stevenson could really continue his career, other than just, try to do what you think is best. But if nothing can go your way, then I'm sorry. Then you have to really make that tough decision. Like, do you really want to waste your time dealing with the bullshit at Top Rank, or do you want to dare to be great and just go where the money's at? And you have to cut corners with people that never liked you in the first place, and actually, do the things that you need to do in order to solidify your legacy. Because legacy is one thing, but if you're not getting the money that you deserve for what you are worth, then I personally believe that shows a lot of distrust and disbelief in your full abilities. So I don't know. Honestly, I just think where things are for Shakur's career, he really needs to make that decision to be more vigilant in what he believes in, and he just can't let people control his career. You are the boss of your own career, and I think where Shakur is at in his career, I don't think he's going to be built up properly to the fighter that we want him to be, because he still has a lot of growing up to do. And I personally just believe that Shakur Stevenson, he's not levels above a lot of fighters, but he will be a certain level where it will be difficult for a lot of fighters to understand how to beat him. So I think until that day comes where Shakur Stevenson has to face true adversity at the highest level of decree, I think that's where Shakur's mindset will be tested to the highest, maximum. Because I truly believe Shakur Stevenson is, the goods, but I don't think he's like all the way to the Floyd Mayweather level of like being unstoppable. But that's unless if you could hit him and you could actually like give him all the issues in the world where he can't he can't find a way to beat you. So I don't know, man. It's like like where Shakur Stevenson is at in his career, he has a lot of growing up to do, and I think everything will be answered when Shakur is brought to that level of competition where he hasn't been tested at, and that's going to bring the best out of him, and that will define greatness if he's ready for it or if he's not ready for it. And every great fighter in the past that had once thought that nobody could beat them, once they get tested by that one fighter that nobody don't know, and that fighter comes out of the blue and dominates you and gives you hell, that brings the best out of those fighters. And we've seen it before. There are some fighters out there that are game bred to beat you. Like, I'll just use Joe Louis versus Max Schleming. People at one point thought Joe Louis is just not that type of guy to beat Max Schleming when Max Schleming knocked him out. People thought Max Schleming had Joe Louis's number. But fast forward to the rematch, Joe Louis beat the crap out of Max Schleming, and I believe in the process he broke his back or broke his spinal cord or some shit like that. But people had their racist beliefs at that time to have thought, Joe Louis was not the same fighter that he once was, but Joe Louis was one of the best heavyweights in the world when he faced, adversity against some fighter that people did not know, but they saw the racial aspect behind the fight, and people obviously that hated Joe Louis wanted to go for the white fighter over the black fighter because it obviously was way more personal than anything else in the world to see a white fighter beat the black fighter. But once Joe Louis lost, everybody was cheering that on as if, like, oh yeah, America has been saved by the white savior from Germany, blah blah blah, knowing that the Germans were America's biggest enemy and biggest rival prior to World War II. But still, Joe Louis would he would still let the black dark horse that nobody didn't want to ride with because he was still considered to be one of the most hated, if not dangerous fighters on the planet, that nobody didn't want to see him succeed. So I think with Shakur Stevenson, when he hits that level of a Joe Louis type adversity, that's when we'll start to see Shakur Stevenson really rise to the occasion to see where his skill level is at to be at the top. But for Jamel Herring, I think it's time for him to hang it up. I don't want to see him get banged up anymore because I really do like Jamel Herring. He's one of my favorite fighters, and I truly believe he has had an amazing career. I really wish I could just say that to him right to his face. He really has like a family man type attitude that he gives to you, and he gives you a lot of respect when you respect him. And I just like how he's been developing as a fighter, and I think he has done everything that he could to show how far he has gotten with such little experience coming into the game, in which remind you, yeah, he was with Team USA for the amateurs, but still, it wasn't like Jamel Herring was this really big up and coming professional fighter. Like, if anything, Jamel Herring, he could have easily just said, okay, well, screw it, I'm not gonna, go pro, and he could have done something completely different. He probably could have been, a assistant trainer in boxing or whoever, but it's like Jamel Herring, he has done enough in his career that he does not need to prove anything else because what he had done for his career has uplifted other fighters' careers as well. And, what we saw out of Jamel Herring's heart was that he is a true warrior at best. And he basically pulled off, one of the greatest miracles in boxing, where no matter how hard you have been, put down in your life, you always get back up, and you can always redeem yourself to bigger and better things. And I mean, if anything, I don't know if any of you guys know, but Jamel Herring, he didn't need to go into boxing. He was coming out of the military, and his whole mindset after, I guess, of the military was just work on what he wanted to do as far as, I guess, like family shit, sorry. He wanted to focus on family related, I guess, social life to take care of his kids and everything. And I think, if anything, the death of his daughter really made him get into boxing, where he wanted to relieve that pain that was hurting him, and that's what made it hard for him to actually cope those feelings that were haunting him for the rest of his life. So if anything, I give Jamel Herring a lot of respect as far as him being very honorable in giving a lot of pride and dedication to the sport of boxing, and him basically him basically giving it his all to tribute to his to his passed away daughter that, could be looking down, like, from the heavens to him. And he is, forever missing her every single day. So I give Jamel Herring all the credibility in the world because, he is a tremendous fighter. I think what he has done for the sport, he will never be forgotten. So I just think where Jamel Herring is at in his career, um, he has done enough for the sport, and there's really nothing left for him because just because you lost to one of the best up and coming contender, if not, world championship level fighters like Shakur Stevenson, that does not mean you are a bad fighter. You just went through one of the toughest matches of your life and you got bested for a very difficult matchup. So, if anything, Jamel Herring, he's a Hall of Famer at best. I really hope he does get that Hall of Fame ballot in. But if not, I still look at him as one of the greatest fighters of this era. Uh, Obviously, he's not like one of the best fighters ever, but he definitely earns his spot in being one of the best, veteran level IQ fighters that have given his best shot at trying to become the best that he could be. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the first topic. Let's talk about the second topic. We got Rollie versus Tank recap. This is mainly for the build-up. I personally think Rolando Romero is scared of Gervonta Tank Davis. I think what we've seen out of the build-up for the amount of for the amount of talk that we've seen out of Tank Davis versus Rollie, it obviously shows that Rolando Romero, he has nothing to say, anything clever to try to, I guess like sell the fight against Tank, because it's not like Gervonta, he's doing anything spectacular other than just saying that, he believes Rollie is scared and Rollie doesn't really have anything left to really, show to Tank other than they sparred each other, and Gervonta, he knows a lot about Rollie now. So it's like Rollie fighting Tank is pretty much just ass whooping in the making for easy money. So hopefully, if anything, I personally believe Gervonta Tank Davis is going to destroy Rollie. I'm just keeping it honest. I know that I personally know, Zarina, and she is close to Rollie. But I personally like Rollie myself. But I'm just gonna keep it real to say that Rollie, he's just not that type of fighter to be ready for Gervonta. Even though that he has this great confidence, and I like that out of a fighter, but I think when people do say in boxing that there's levels to this game, I truly believe that is true. There are levels to this game, but you have to go through the levels in order to level up to a point to be ready for those type of fighters. So that's really like my only problem with Gervonta Tank Davis. He doesn't really have how should I say? He doesn't have an issue with Rollie. Rollie's gonna have more issues with Tank, and the problem is Rollie, he hasn't fought those Gervonta Tank Davis level fighters to be ready for, like how should I say? Like basically, like Rollie's skill set in competition has not been ready at that level until he has, shown otherwise. And that's really like the biggest problem with Rollie. Rollie doesn't have, you know, like how should I say? He doesn't have like what like, like what anybody could say is like spectacular enough to the point where he can beat Gervonta. And I truly believe where Gervonta's skill level is at, Rollie is like Rollie is just not ready for that type of competition. And I could be wrong, maybe Rollie could be that guy to beat Tank, but I just don't see it happening because Tank is just that type of character to be built different. So I don't know. It's just weird. I just think where everything's at for Tank's career versus Rollie's career, everything is, I don't know, a lot more different in competition and where everything is coming in Gervonta's build up versus Rollie's build up. And I think where things are going to go at the end of both fighters' careers, I see Gervonta Tank Davis being that type of guy to uplift his career way higher versus Rollie. His career is just not there to the level of where we could say, Gervonta Tank Davis is going to be that guy to, be defeated by Rollie. I don't know. It's just like I just don't see, Gervonta losing to Rollie, and I think if anything, Rollie is going to do himself a massive disservice to lose to Tank in a more devastating manner. And I think where Rollie is at in his career, he's just not, I don't know, he's not built up properly as far as matchmaking wise to be ready for a Gervonta Tank Davis. So I don't know. I think where everything's at in, Gervonta Tank Davis's progress, he's just not uh, um um shit. Like basically like how I see Rollie fighting Tank is basically a train going up against a AC 130. Rollie thinks he is going to train wreck Gervonta, and Gervonta is just going to come in as an AC 130 about to basically drop a 150 millimeter cannon bomb, right to Rollie. And Rollie doesn't understand that Gervonta, he's a very dangerous threat that that many fighters would say he is, if not one of the most baddest fighters on the planet, and I truly believe so because Gervonta Tank Davis is nobody to play with. He can easily, ruin anybody's night, but it's not like Tank is going to let, a fighter like Rollie try to dominate him. It's basically going to be a very bad night, and I don't, think Rollie understands that, but I would hope that, Rollie he can, have like a better understanding in going after Tank when he's ready, not just fight Tank out of pure emotion to say, "Oh, just give me Gervonta now," blah blah blah, and I'll basically beat his ass and I'll do whatever I need to be successful. No, like that's just not how it works. And I think what's happening to Rollie's mindset is that he just doesn't understand that Gervonta, he's at a different level than him, and Gervonta is willing to he's willing to beat Rollie at all costs to show to the world why he is the best fighter ever. So I just think where Gervonta's at in his career, he's shown a lot more talent and credibility in his resume versus Rollie. He still has plenty of growing up to do, and I just don't think Rollie is just at that level to be ready for Tank. So I don't know. Me personally, I think how this fight really goes down is just simply, let the matter of Gervonta outpointing Rollie or just brutally beating him up to the point where it just doesn't become like a fight anymore. It just becomes a absolute bludgeoning. Where Gervonta, he's not gonna fool around. He's going to come with bad intentions to viciously hurt Rollie. And I just don't see how this fight really goes down to be a very competitive fight because Rollie, his skills are just not there to handle Tank's, elusiveness and methodology to break a fighter down, at a high level. So that's just how I personally see it. I think the fight itself won't go no more than 6 rounds, but I'm definitely looking forward to it because it's going to be a good early Christmas present to definitely, take a look at. So I don't know. Either way, I can't wait for that fight. That'll be interesting. So yeah, let's talk about the next topic. We have Mr. Josue Vargas versus Jose Zapata. I personally think this fight is going to be very competitive. I don't think it's going to go the distance. I think somebody is going to either get slept or it's going to just end up into a very destructive bludgeoning where it's going to be very competitive. I don't think Josue Vargas is coming to play games. It's obviously a type of war that Josue Vargas is ready for, but at the end of the day, we can't really say you know Jose Zapata is basically just damaged goods. I will say he's probably coming in to this fight a lot more composed and I think where this fight will go down is just who has the more effective shots landed. And I think where Josue Vargas is at in his career, he just has the more gifted athletic ability to give Jose Zapata more issues. And then on top of that, Jose Zapata, he's not a fan of fighting southpaws a lot. I think if anything, he's going to struggle with Jose a lot more because he's just not that type of guy to fight southpaws very well. And he usually doesn't let his hands go as much when fighting a southpaw. I think if anything, Josue Vargas, he's just going to land a lot more cleaner punches on him, and it's just going to come to a point where Zapata, he's just going to be afraid to throw those punches when Vargas hard counters him with those straight lefts and those right uppercuts. I just think Zapata, from his last fight, he just looked like dog shit, in my honest opinion. I didn't really think he had that much growth in his experience that he had with Ivan Baranchik because if anything, he should have been a lot more sharper to defeat um, Hank Lundy, right? I just kind of felt like that fight itself just made no sense for him to, basically fight like crap and, make it seem like, it was like a sparring match. And, to me, I don't know. It just kind of felt like, it felt like a really crappy fight. I personally didn't, like watching it. And I kind of felt like, his performance could have been way better. Same thing with Josue Vargas's last performance. Um, his last fight was against Willie Shaw, I think. But that was a good fight while it lasted. It was a good, decent fight to say the least. It wasn't a fight that I thought Jose was going to lose. I was expecting him to win, and which he did win, but he didn't look as sharp as many would think he would, and I think that was the biggest issues. Um, Josue Josue definitely could have done a lot better, and I don't know, but there was just more issues that I had with him, not being sharp against a guy like Willie Shaw, in which he was a very awkward fighter. Don't get it twisted. Like his style gave Josue a lot of problems to figure out, but I think at this point, there were, but oh shit, there really wasn't any holes much for Josue to really fix up on because he is a pretty sharp guy. He does do what he has to do, but at the end of the day, we have to be honest that he has, a lot of holes as far as getting hit with unnecessary shots that leaves him wide open to a bigger shot. In which, don't get it twisted, like he has a damn good chin. He definitely can take a punch, but I think it's better for him not to do that, and he has more control in being a more sharper fighter. So I just think where Josue is at in his career, he definitely needs to give it his best against against Jose Zepeda, and I think if anything, he'll definitely beat him. Uh, he'll definitely give him issues, and I think what will happen is that Josue will either stop, Jose Zepeda, or it's going to turn into those fights where it's going to be a chess match. And I think that's what is going to happen. And I really do hope that fight itself does become a lot more competitive than for what anybody tries to say it's not going to be. I personally just believe just where everything's at in this fight, it's going to be a very competitive fight. And I just personally think, that the fight itself is definitely going to be a very good crowd, even though that I don't like it, being at the MSG arena, because obviously New York sucks with its current economy. But if the fans do come out, hopefully it is a good crowd for him to make some good money. And hopefully that does happen because, he deserves everything. And I hope he does what he has to do. But anyways, let's talk about the other topic. We're going to talk about two final topics, and then I'm going to get up out of here. We're going to talk about Jerome Boots Ennis versus Thomas Delorme. This is going to be a pretty good fight. I think this fight itself is going to be a very competitive fight. I think as far as like this fight goes, it's going to be very competitive. But I think Boots is going to pull it off like any other fighter would against a fighter like Delorme, who is way past his prime. But he's not afraid of giving you a good fight if it's worth him competing for a good amount of money. So I think where Delorme is at in his career, he's definitely on a bigger and better, opportunity to make more money. But on top of that, would I want to see him get his butt whooped by Jerron Ennis? Obviously not. I don't see how he is coming with his mindset to think that having a fight with Boots is a good idea. I think it's a really bad idea. I personally would like to see him, fight somebody at a lower level of a welterweight. But for him to fight Boots, I don't think that's a good idea because Boots, he does not play around, and he's obviously there to do damage. And I think where Delorme is at in his career, he's already done enough to try his best. And I don't know, man. I just think where everything's at in his career, he is on a massive, win streak, and nobody's not beating him. And I think Boots, he deserves a way better competition than this. it's not like Jaron Ennis is that bad of a fighter, but I mean, it's obviously, or it's obvious enough that nobody don't want to fight him to the point where he's really that good. So I really don't see how Boots is being this. I don't know, being like being fed to a guy like Delorme, where he shouldn't have to be fighting him. It should be more like, a guy like Virgil Ortiz or somebody out of like the top 10 or 20 welterweights, in the competitive rankings in either sanctioning body that should be fighting them. And I think that would make a lot more sense for Jaron Ennis to do that because, he has a lot more to gain fighting guys at the higher level versus facing a Thomas, Delorme, which I mean, he is a B level fighter in my honest opinion. So there's really no shame in him fighting him. But it's like Boots knows eventually his number is going to be called up for a world title. And I think that's really what he's doing. I think where Jaron Ennis is at in his career, he has a lot more, time on his level to go where he wants to go. And wherever he goes for his career, he has a lot more to gain from what he's wanting to achieve next in his possible career. So I don't know what would be the next step after this fight, but it seems like PBC and Showtime, they're obviously, propping up or definitely hyping up Jaron to be like the next big star. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Jaron Ennis, he is on his way to bigger and better things. And it's not like he's like it's not like that he's going to be, you know, basically written off if he gets beat by like a top guy. But it's not like Jaron Ennis is, avoiding any smoke. It's just that Boots, he obviously doesn't have any fights given to him right now because he's not being respected, as a top, as a top fucking welterweight. So I think where Jaron Ennis is at in his career, I think he has a lot to gain from this fight because even though that it may not be a guy that he wants, it's definitely somebody that's going to give him, a good amount of work for him to be ready for that, Errol Spence or Virgil Ortiz or somebody at the high level. And I think where Boots is at in his career, um, Jaron Ennis is definitely going to shine when that opportunity comes. And I personally think he's going to rule 147. And a lot of people are definitely going to be sleeping on him when that time comes. So I don't know. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think Boots, he has such a great skill set to the point where nobody really can't beat him. And I think the only people that beat him are the ones that, like we don't think that is going to come out of their way to possibly beat Boots. So I don't know. It's definitely something that I am looking forward to because I think Jaron Ennis, he is on that next high level, boxing clinic where nobody is going to mess with him for quite a long time. And the only losses that he will probably take is against guys that are just highly talented. Maybe like a Shakur Stevenson or a Devin Haney one day. Who knows? Like it's very unknown to see where Boots' skill set is going to be. But I'm definitely looking forward to where Boots is going to go in his career. So, for those of you that are looking to watch some good fights, be sure to check out Jaron Ennis. He will be fighting this weekend. He'll be fighting Thomas Delorme, right? So I think Delorme is a pretty good, decent test, and that will be a good little chapter for his career. So I think where he's at in his career, he has more, time on his hands, and these fights are only just going to get him better. So I don't see, that the only problem, like me personally, like, I don't see any problem. I think where Boots is at in his career, he's definitely doing everything right, and I wish him nothing but the best because he's just that damn good of a fighter. So let's talk about the final topic. My awesome friend, Miss Zarina Black Rose McCoy, she will be fighting this weekend. I don't know who the opponent is, but I hear that she's a decent fighter out of Mexico. I guess she's fighting another Mexican chick, so that should be a good fight. Hopefully, she can give me more information on where to, find her, fighting, and then I will definitely post her fight on my channel once again because I always do that because I care about her, as a mutual friend. So I definitely like to help her out, but hopefully she's able to dominate this opponent. I don't know, like what this girl is about. I hope it's a pretty decent opponent to just help her get ready for bigger and better, tougher fights. Because I think where she's at in the state of her division is obviously just that, you know, fighters like Lourdes Suarez and who else? I forgot like what other fighters are in her division. Like those fights will be probably difficult somewhere down the line, but I don't think Lourdes will be around for that much longer because she is an old lady. She's like what, like 34 years old. So I don't really see her being around for that much longer. But like other women, like who else? I'll just use maybe Backtrack to help me. But the only ladies that I really see her doing well at the division would be, well, I don't see Jessica Chavez being around that much longer. Like she's only 33, but like we got Guadalupe Guzman. She's not that bad of a fighter. She's what, the WBC, or no, she, like, yeah, she lost to Lourdes, but yeah, Lourdes beat her for the WBC. So Lourdes is a WBC, and I believe Victoria Torres, she's the IBF. No, she's not the IBF. She is a good fighter, by the way. Um, I think it's Michaela Milagros Lujuan. Yeah, she's the IBF. Yeah, I actually seen her fight a couple times. She beat Deborah Denicius. She had a draw with Georgelina Juani. She's an awesome lady. Deborah Gomez, not a bad lady herself. That was for the vacant title, by the way. So she just won her title, or she won her belt back in January of this past year, or earlier of this year. So whoever she will probably face in the future, it's probably going to be her. And then for the WBO would be what, Jacqueline Munoz? No, it wouldn't be Jacqueline. It'd be Lourdes. It would be this girl, and I don't know about this lady. Yeah, Mio Yoshida. She has the WBO. So the person that has the WBA would have to be, I want to say, who has the WBA? I think it's Jessica. Yeah, right. No, she don't got the WBA. Hold on, WBA female super flyweight champion. Yeah, who's oh, Susie? No, Susie. Yeah, she has to be gone. Yeah, I love Susie. Uh, she's a beautiful lady. But Jessica Bob, she's also a very good lady too. She actually beat Baron Quia. Yeah, I can't believe Jessica Bob is fighting because it's like she's definitely been through so many wars, and it's just she definitely got to just stop fighting, because at some point of your career you definitely got to just hang it up. But I mean, if she's able to keep on doing it, then so be it, I guess. But I just don't think that's a good idea, because it's like eventually it's just gonna give you wear and tear, and you're just not gonna do the things that you think that you can't do anymore. So I guess she's just doing it as much as she can, and wherever it goes, it goes. But yeah, Maribel Ramirez, that is the person I'm thinking about. So Maribel Ramirez has the WBA title, and she's not even shown on here, which is really weird. But Jasmine Artiga, she's also in the division too, so she's definitely a good name that I like to see Zarina face. Not somebody to really worry so much about, but if it happens, I'm just saying. But not that many ladies. I'm personally looking at the WBA website, and it shows that Maribel Ramirez is the WBA world champion, but I find that hard to believe. She's not really doing anything. She's pretty much I don't know, man. I want to say she's been inactive, because I can't find her. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Maribel Ramirez. Because I swear to God, this lady hasn't been back in the ring for such a long time. Yeah, here we go. She basically won her belt 3 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago against Ania Seki. Yeah, so she hasn't done anything. Wow. So I don't know, man. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's there's really nothing that we could really say here other than just yeah, there's really nothing going on. Oh wait, I stand corrected. She actually beat Linda Lecca. That's that Peruvian chick back in the day that used to be a good fighter. I actually loved watching her fight. But uh, yeah, Maribel Ramirez, she hasn't been back in the ring for quite some time. So if anything, it looks like that the WBA rankings have been pretty outdated, because the female rankings are not, properly structured to the point where we could actually be consistent with knowing who's going to be fighting. But if my sources are correct, Zarina is currently number 5 in the WBA. So I would assume she should be on that level, because I think who she's going to fight is Natalie Delgado, which that's the lady that I heard she was going to fight. Natalie Delgado, right? She's going to fight some Panamanian or some Mexican girl. I forgot who she's going to fight. She's not a bad fighter. She's okay. She doesn't have knockout power. She's very, how should I say, long, rangy. But it should be a decent fight, I guess. I don't know. But hopefully we get to see what we could, we could possibly see out of her. Don't really have too many high hopes. But yeah, hopefully we get to see it. But from what I see, it seems like Zarina, she's number 5 in the WBA. And Jasmine, she's above her at number 4, which makes no sense, because Zarina, she's been way more active. And then for some weird reason, Gabriela Fondor is number 9. So I don't get it, man. It makes no sense. And I think who's going to be at the top, it's definitely going to be, I don't know. I don't think that Olga Julio girl is going to be around. She's too old. If anything, she's probably out because I don't see this girl at all. I see Monty Trejo. She got beat by Avril Matthew, which she's in the division. Not really that much of a fighter because Avril, eh, she's okay. She's not, yeah, she's not the best, but yeah, she's okay. Yeah, she's okay. But I don't know, man. I just think where everything's at in her division, it's really not that much. Um, I don't even think she's really, in that division anyway, because it seems like she's at bantamweight. But I don't know. But as far as Zarina's Zarina's fight coming up, be sure to check it out. I'm definitely probably gonna just have that recorded and then I'll put it up on the channel. And much love and respect to Zarina McCoy. I'm happy to be part of her journey once again, and I'm just happy to you know be on that train to support her legacy journey. So I hope she does very well in her upcoming fight, and I am looking forward to it. So yeah, that's my time. I gotta get ready for bed. I'll see y'all later. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Bye.